Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Good evening. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Doc Watkins Show. I'm your host, Doc Watkins. I'm joined tonight by Brandon Guerra on the drums and Mike Porter on the bass. My special guest is world-renowned bassist and studio musician Alex Frank. We're going to get to some music in just a minute, but first, let's have a look at the JazzTexas news. In Hollywood, Brad Pitt's legal team is accusing Angelina Jolie's legal team of trying to prolong their ongoing custody battle. The good news is that the ex-Hollywood couple is being offered to star in a movie sequel entitled Mr. and Mrs. Smith Sue Each Other Over Child Custody. Taylor Swift took to Twitter recently to condemn President Trump for opposing funding of the U.S. Postal Service and encouraged her fans to vote early by mail. Millions of Tay-Tay's fans responded that they do plan to vote as soon as they graduate high school in just a few years. In sports, quarterback Alex Smith has been cleared to return to football activities after 17 surgeries. Smith's doctors say they wish him the best in the NFL and look forward to performing his 18th surgery. And finally, identical twins Brittany and Brianna Salyers, who married identical twins Josh and Jeremy Salyers, announced Friday that they are both expecting. The couples, who first made headlines when appearing on TLC's Our Twinsane Wedding, shared the news in a Baywatch-themed Instagram post. Read all about this and more in the latest issue of This Is Freaking Weird Monthly. Let's hope these identical twin couples give birth to identical twins, who then grow up and give birth to identical twins, which will guarantee TLC's show lineup for the next half century. That's it for the JazzTexas News. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday night. We're so glad to be here. We would like to start the show by offering a toast to everyone who's watching, and also especially to those of y'all who have been so kind as to order your dinner and your drinks from JazzTexas. We're now doing curbside and delivery, and we have a terrific menu back there in the kitchen and behind the bar. So Mike, Brandon, everyone online, thank you. Here's to many more years of good JazzTexas food, drinks, music, and fellowship. Cheers, everybody. And we'd like to start the show with a Cole Porter tune entitled Night and Day. Here goes. That's Night and Day by the great Cole Porter. Thank you very much, everybody. We'd like to give a big shout out to Caitlin Hill, who's running sound for us. She's our audio engineer, and also the man behind the camera, our production man, Mr. Chris Zients. Science! With Wizard Broadcasting. We also want to thank our new media sponsor, KRTU 91.7. Guys, thank you so much for partnering with us during these live streams. If you've never checked out 91.7, KRTU is one of the best jazz stations in the entire country. They play some of the best jazz music, everything from, you know, the oldies from the 20s and 30s to modern stuff that's hitting the records, hitting the stores just this year. And they play everything in between. So guys, thank you so much. We're honored to be partnering with you. And so without further ado, we want to do our next number. This is a tune by the great Herbie Hancock entitled Maiden Voyage. Thank you very much, everybody. That's Maiden Voyage by the great Herbie Hancock. Mike Porter on the bass, Brandon Guerra on the drums. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Doc Watkins Show. I'm your host, Doc Watkins. We've got a lot of great music for you tonight. Happy Friday, everybody. My special guest this evening is Los Angeles composer, arranger, and bassist for Jeff Goldblum's group, the Mildred Snitzer Orchestra. He's a founding member of the jazz supergroup, the Lineage Trio, as well. They've got a brand new album out that we're going to talk about in just a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Alexander Frank.
How's it going?
Alex, welcome to the show. How you doing, my friend?
Doing great. Great to hear you again. Sound beautiful, your trio.
Thank you very much. It's been a while since we had you out here at JazzTexas. How's life been treating you?
It's been good out here. It's very hot out here in Los Angeles right now, as I'm sure you're used to out there, of course.
Does it make you jealous when I do this?
It actually definitely does.
Oh,
I've had many of those cocktails out there at your club, so I know how good they are.
They're not that good anymore. Don't worry about it. We've really watered them down quite a bit, so you're not missing a thing.
Well, you got to save a buck here or there. I get it.
It's delicious. So tell me, so you and the group, the Lineage Trio, you guys have a brand new album out. I've heard some of it. It's amazing. Tell me about this group.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's called the Lineage Trio, and it's basically we're paying lineage to our common influences, really, like Ray Brown, Barney Kessel, Shelly Manne, the Pole Winners Trio. And kind of our lineage, our drummer, Ryan Shaw, and Graham Dexter, our guitar player, they studied with Jeff Hamilton and me too, and I studied with John Clayton. And it all comes from the lineage of like Ray and those guys, so it's like kind of being passed down to us and kind of the torchbearer, as they say. And we kind of wanted to do some original arrangements in that style, but kind of, take them up even a notch than where they were before.
So name all the ways in which you guys consider yourself to be part of this lineage.
Well, from everything where, Jeff Hamilton played in Oscar Peterson's trio for years. And then, Graham has played since the age of 18. He's played in the Clayton Hamilton Orchestra. And then I've, studied with John Clayton, who was taught by Ray Brown. And then also I used to tour a lot with Bruce Foreman, who actually was on Ray Brown's last record he ever recorded before he passed away. And, Ryan too as well.
Bruce Foreman played
here.
Yeah, a couple times.
With what's his name on guitar, right?
Whit Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to kick them both out at the end of the night. It was great.
Sounds about right. Now, Bruce has been one of my mentors as well, which has been great.
I love how you guys talk about the lineage of these great musicians going back to the Oscar Peterson trio and that sound. Oscar Peterson traced so much of his influences, back to Art Tatum. And I mean, you can't get much earlier in jazz than Art Tatum. How important is it to learn to play jazz music from the source itself versus textbooks in college?
Well, I've always said this before, and I'll keep saying it. You can't teach someone how to swing an eighth note. And no matter how many schools they show you how to break up the rhythm, dotted eighth or whatever, there's no way to teach it. The only way is to just listen to the original music that swings. You can't teach someone a feeling which is in the gut of how to swing music. It's just something that comes from hours and hours and hours of listening, as you know. Speaking of another, I know you love Monty Alexander. John Clayton and Jeff Hamilton both played in his trio for years.
One of my favorite groups.
Same here.
Yeah. So what's your Desert Island CD for jazz?
Oh man, if I had to go with one right now, I would say the trio, Oscar Peterson, the trio live in Chicago.
Oh yeah. That's one of the greats.
There's nothing you could put on that would make you just feel better. There's no way you could listen to that and not have a smile.
Yep, I agree. For me, it's the Monty Alexander live in Montreux, 1974, with Jeff Hamilton and John Clayton. And what I love about you guys with the Lineage Trio, with you and Graham and Ryan, when you came out here and I brought that up, their faces lit up and they started singing the solos and the melodies, and they even had memorized all the grunts, like the non-musical noises that came out of those guys. Because, Monty starts doing this kind of thing, and then you hear Jeff Hamilton go, whoa, you know, and they knew exactly like every point in which all, and I was like, man, that's, to me, that's my favorite probably jazz album of all time. And to know that you guys were into that just as much was really incredible. So I want to talk about the CD. We're going to play a little bit of the CD in just a minute, but tell me how these tunes came about.
Well, they're all from the Great American Songbook for the most part. There's actually one that's kind of from the great bass player Oscar Pettiford, which I think actually I might play that in a little bit. But they all come from like songs that we love, like Tangerine is a song, an old Johnny Mercer song. We do All String Along With You, which is a great Harry Warren song. We do everything from Unforgettable, which of course is associated with Nat King Cole. We do I've Got a Crush on You, which is a beautiful Gershwin song. I think I've heard you play that before.
Yeah.
And they're all standards that pretty much everyone will recognize who knows this genre, but they're done in quite a different way, I would say, you know. They're a mixture, I would say, if you took elements of, you know, the Oscar Peterson trio with the Polarist, add some Amir Hendelman kind of arrangements, and you get a big mush of it all together, and it's kind of what we're going for.
Well, we've got a clip from the album. It's about a 60-second clip we're going to share for everybody. You can get the album through alexanderfrankmusic.com, alexfrankmusic.com. Look them up. Also look up the Lineage Trio. They're all over the internets. And we're going to play this clip for you of a tune called Get Me to Church on Time. Here we go. The album's called First Ride. Alexander Frank on the bass, Graham Decter on the guitar, Ryan Shaw on the drums, some of the baddest dudes on the planet. You guys have worked with everybody from Jeff Goldblum to Clayton Hamilton Orchestra to Michael Bublé and everybody in between. And I want to talk about Jeff Goldblum and your work with Jeff. And I want to know, when you're on the road with Jeff, you guys are flying commercial. The guy's got to be getting mobbed the whole time. How do you focus on the music?
You know, that's a very good point, actually, because he obviously is recognized everywhere, but the thing is he's too nice of a guy, where, I mean, in the best kind of way, where he will never turn down a photograph or an autograph for anyone. Sometimes he'll spend hours finding stuff because he doesn't want to be rude.
How about an invitation to come on the Doc Watkins Show?
Let's say, you know, it's funny you say that. I did mention to him about he should try to tune in this week, you know, tonight when this is airing, and you know, he's in London right now till Halloween. He's filming the new Jurassic World.
They're in a bubble.
So he was telling me about
right?
that. You know, they're in a bubble. He has to get tested every single day on set, and you know, he was excited though. He gets to see, like, you know, Laura Dern and Sam Neill again. It's all, you know, all the old cast joining him. So it should be fun. But we definitely should try to get him on the show.
I would love it. And by the way, I would never. it's not why I brought it up. Was because I never want to abuse the friendship and say, hey, can you get me to Jeff? Well, that wasn't the point. Yeah. You know, you and I go back years, and we have lots of really colorful stories together. But I did want to ask, what was I going to say about Jeff? You know, it was the most honoring thing. It was the coolest thing that I came and saw you guys in Los Angeles about a year and a half ago, and Jeff got me a seat kind of right next to the stage, and we were listening to the band. The place was packed. It was like on a Wednesday night in Hollywood, and he actually took the time to in the middle of the set, between songs, he said, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from San Antonio, I want to welcome my good friend, Mr. Doc Watson.
It's not the first time you've been called that, I'm sure.
It's not the first time. It's not even the 10,000th time. But anyway, we'll bring Jeff on the show and set him straight, if you know what I'm talking about. Seriously, it's got to be hard for you guys when you're traveling. And Jeff has put together the most amazing band, and everyone wants to talk about Jurassic Park.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, he understands that he could bring this music to people who've never heard it before. You know, I mean, like literally, like since I've even seen you last, Doc, like in November, you know, with Jeff, we played with the full orchestra. We played at Royal Albert Hall for the Queen of England and the whole royal family. And it's like stuff like that, you know. And we were playing it actually an arrangement I did of Let's Face the Music and Dance. So it's like there's like an old, you know, Irving Berlin standard that probably these people would never be exposed to before, you know, and just because of, you know, he's recognized so widely, you know, he loves bringing, you know, we'll be in the, you know, we'll be playing for 40,000 people at a big festival, and he's taught, you know, he's giving like history lessons about Thelonious Monk and Errol Gardner and Sonny Clark because he's from Pittsburgh, who's one of his heroes, you know?
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I was talking to the Queen of England is not something that most people say. You know, so it's pretty cool.
We call her Mom, just so you know.
You call her Mom? Well, tell her that I'm really sorry that I haven't returned her calls the last few days. I've been very busy. There's a pandemic going on in San Antonio. It's crazy, and it's been really hot, too. And we've been doing this show, so I'll get back to her. Alex, thank you so much, my friend. It's been too long. I can't wait to play some more music again. We've recorded together. We've played together. You've been down to the club multiple times with multiple groups. And make sure and check out alexfrankmusic.com. Order the CD, First Ride. It's got some of the most killing arrangements of the last 20 years in the jazz world. Some of the baddest dudes on the planet. It's a great CD. And Alex, I can't thank you enough for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Oh, wait, I totally forgot. Well, what am I talking about? You're going to play the bass. You're going to play something.
Yeah, I was actually going to play something off of our record. A really quick little version of one of the songs is called Triggertism, and it's by the great Oscar Pettiford, bass player. And we kind of did elements of it, kind of mixing with Oscar Peterson. But I'll play you a quick little thing of it if you don't mind.
Yeah, please do.
Anything for you, C-Dubs. Here we go.
That's Alexander Frank, everybody. Alex, thank you so much for joining us on the show today, my man.
Thanks so much for having me, Doc.
We'll see you back in San Antonio real soon. Be well. Until next time.
Good to see you, Brandon. Good to see you guys over there.
Oh, sorry. See, Alex. That's Alexander Frank, everybody. Thank you, Alex. Check it out, alexfrankmusic.com. We're going to play a classic ballad for you now. This is a tune by Duke Ellington entitled Sophisticated Lady. That's Sophisticated Lady by Duke Ellington, everybody. Cheers. All right, this next tune was written by George Gershwin a long time ago. It's one of my favorites. It's called But Not For Me. Here goes. But Not For Me by George Gershwin. Thank you very much, everybody. That's Brandon Guerra back there on the drums, Mike Porter on the bass. Well, it is the month of August, and boy, is it hot out there. And I know we're all stuck inside trying to figure out what to do during this quarantine. We've all experienced boredom in a brand new way here in 2020, so we decided to come up with our own board game that you can play along with right here at home. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's play the board game. Well, you know how the board game works. We pick two famous people, both of which are pretty boring. We compare and contrast the two, and then I get to decide who's the biggest bore. So tonight on the board game, who's more boring, Eli Manning or Eli Whitney? Well, on the one hand, Eli Manning is an NFL quarterback who played for the New York Giants. He's the son of former NFL quarterback Archie Manning and is the younger brother of Peyton Manning, the celebrated spokesman for Nationwide Insurance. For many people, Eli and Peyton Manning are the most admired brothers since Eric and Lyle Menendez. When Eli was 10, he made a rule that he could only be kissed once a week, as opposed to his brother Peyton Manning, whose rule was that everyone has to kiss his butt at least once a week. Eli Manning has a children's clinic named after him on the University of Mississippi campus, but based on the average SAT scores of college athletes, it's unlikely a university would ever name an academic building after a football player. According to Eli Manning, he still speaks to his brother Peyton at least once a week, and according to Peyton Manning, his rule is still that Eli must still kiss his butt at least once a week. Wonderful stuff. On the other hand, Eli Whitney was an inventor and an engineer most known for inventing the cotton gin. When Eli was 14, the Revolutionary War started, and so Eli decided to make money by making and selling nails in his father's workshop. So Eli Whitney should be actually considered the #1 inventor of the nail salon. Eli Whitney graduated from Yale University, where he studied math, Greek, Latin, and philosophy, as opposed to Eli Manning, who went to Ole Miss and studied passing, receiving, and hiking. Eli Whitney is also credited for creating interchangeable parts, which are components that are exactly the same so they will fit into any exact model of product. So basically, he invented IKEA. Eli Whitney died in 1825, and it is said that in order to ease his pain, he actually created a machine that could alleviate some of his pain. That machine was called the Kevorkian. It's a tough call, ladies and gentlemen, but if you had to pick who bores you the most, Eli Manning or Eli Whitney, the correct answer is Eli Manning. And thank you for playing the board game. All right, welcome back. Brandon Guerra back there on the drums, ladies and gentlemen. He is double masked tonight for your protection. We're going to continue on with the music. We'd like to play a song now that was written by the great Henry Mancini, entitled The Days of Wine and Roses. Thank you very much, everybody. That's The Days of Wine and Roses by Henry Mancini. We've got time for just one more tune tonight before we say goodnight. Happy Friday, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. Please join us tomorrow night. It's Saturday, 8 o'clock. We'll be live back here again at Jazz Texas. And also Sunday for a special one-time only show. It's our fourth... Hey, Brandon. It's our 4th anniversary here at Jazz Texas, and our slogan is 4 more years, so we've got a special menu for you all from the kitchen and the bar, and a special show as well, so make sure and join us on Sunday night at 8. We want to thank you one more time, KRTU 91.7 for being our media sponsor. Also, Caitlin Hill on the audio, and Chris Science with Wizard Broadcasting. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. We're going to close out with an old tune from Bobby Timmons and Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. This is Monin'. much, everybody. Mike Porter on the bass, Brandon Guerra on the drums. That's it for us tonight. Join us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Our special guest is the legendary and incomparable Emily Gimbel. So we'll see you all then. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, KRTU 91.7. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time, same channel. Good night, y'all.